Hi and people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm with someone who inspired me to go abroad before.
Really?
She told me a sentence like this. If you are not ready to go abroad, just make a passport, buy a
Yeah.
suitcase, and later you will be motivated by that.
I did remember
Right?
that. Really.
Yeah, you told me about that, and finally I did. I went abroad.
So that really inspired you.
Yeah. So please welcome Kak Cynthia.
Yay.
Kak Cynthia, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Cynthia. My full name is Putu Cynthia Dewi, but anyway, you can just call me Cynthia. And I just came back from my master studying in Hungary, and now probably would like to settle in Bali again.
Okay, and what university were you in?
I was in University of Pécs. It's just a small part of a city in Hungary. Not that small, but it's a quite decent place to live in for students because it's not that crowded for people who doesn't really like crowdness. And what else? Well, it's not that far from the Budapest, also from the central of the Hungary.
And your major was?
My major was human resources counseling. If you know what it is, it's about human resources, but not only about management, but also counseling.
Okay, so it's human resources
And also counseling.
and counseling
Yeah.
in University of Pécs
Yes.
in Hungary.
Yes.
The name of the scholarship that you got is
It's Stipendium Hungaricum.
Stipendium Hungaricum, which is quite hard to mention.
Yes, stipendium is basically a fund.
A fund.
It's a Latin word.
It's a Hungary word.
And not yes, it's part of Hungarian word. But if you find it in Oxford, probably they have stipendium also, and it's
Stipendium
Latin. Yeah, Hungaricum is Hungary. That's it.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, could you tell us like what Stipendium Hungaricum is about?
Stipendium Hungaricum is a scholarship that is given and awarded by the government of Hungary, and it is awarded to many countries all around the world.
For all students.
To all students from
For-
bachelor, master, and
Oh, yeah?
also yes, PhD.
Okay.
But it depends on every host country or the destination country. For example, Indonesia, as until now, as far as I know, we haven't awarded a bachelor degree yet, only master and PhD.
Okay.
But for some other countries like Japan or China, they have all degrees to be awarded this stipendium. So depends on the corporations and also the diplomatic relationship
Agreement, right.
between the two countries.
Okay. And how did you get to know this scholarship?
Oh, it was a long story. I think I was informed by one of my friends that I went to China with. So from our our batch. So I went to China with one of my friends from Makassar, and
Okay.
she got this scholarship prior before me.
The same. I was also informed by my friend.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Who went to China with
That's
me.
so nice. That's the power of connections
Yeah,
and
right.
networks, right?
Yeah.
So she got this scholarship first, and then I saw her life in Hungary is quite interesting, and I
From
thought
social
that
media.
from social media.
Yeah, of course.
That was how people promote today, ladies and gentlemen. So I got an idea. Probably I could also follow her to Europe. I mean, for me, I never had actually intentions to go to Europe for study. My ultimate destination was Australia, of course, because
okay.
that was close. But then I saw that I think Europe is a quite interesting option to go with, and why not? And apparently they have this human resources counseling, which was in line with my work, my job previously. I was a recruiter, and then I thought, oh, there's not so many scholarship that offers human resources as part of their offered degree, because maybe they think that it won't benefit much for the two countries as a human resources, mostly engineering, teacher.
Yeah, being teachers.
Yeah, education, medicine.
It's a promising job. To be a teacher. Anyway.
So this was a huge surprise for me that they have these human resources. So I thought, hey, why not? And then that's how
It's your
I
destiny,
started.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Same
so for your
thoughts.
information, we joined like a program to go to China, but different years.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
went to China in 2013, right?
Yes, yes, I
And I
think
was
so.
in 2015, and we got the same information from the same people in our batch.
Yes.
in China. I got to
From-
know University of Nottingham also from my friend.
from your friend
Yeah.
from China. I mean
Uh,
the Indonesian,
Indonesian
student who
student going
went
to
to China. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same then. Same story.
Okay, and then second, what are the crucial requirements for you to apply for Stipendium
Hungaricum.
Stipendium?
Now this is very interesting one, and very a good news for everybody who would like to go for a scholarship, but with less effort to get it, because stipendium is apparently a scholarship that doesn't have so many requirements and
Oh.
quite yes. So they actually only have the requirements that we should finish a certain degree. I mean, for master, at least we should finish the bachelor degree and just wrote an essay like, why do you want to study in Hungary?
That's the only essay?
Yes, that's the only essay.
Okay.
So that's very easy. And the last one is that we have to do interview with the university that we are aiming for.
Oh, so you're like applying to the university is also part of applying for the scholarship?
Yes, so when we first applied for this scholarship, we have to fill in the form and then mention 3 options of university in Hungary that you want to go to.
Oh, okay.
So the first one, for example, in Page, the second one, for example, in Budapest, and it could be different program also. It doesn't have to be the same.
Mhm.
So that's how it goes. And then, of course, you will have this interview with these 3 universities. And if you manage to pass all these 3 interviews, automatically you can go to the first option.
Okay. But if you get accepted only by one university?
Then you will get into that only one. So at least there is one university that accepts you
So
from
at-
these 3
okay.
options. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Doesn't
like
have to.
applying for the university first and then later you can apply for the scholarship.
No, it goes in a simultaneous
Process.
Yeah, process. So the first one, apply for the administration. What is that? Screening. And the screening is not done by the Hungarian government, but dicti.
Oh, by dictate?
Yes.
So, okay.
So Hungarian government or the foundation is Tempus Public Foundation, TPF. They have this cooperation with every host country, and in every host country might have different institutions. Like Indonesia, the one that is responsible for education is Dikti, usually.
yeah.
So Dikti will be given a responsibility to do the screening. And then, so that is the prior and ultimate important point.
Yeah.
That if you pass from
I know
pass
how
the
hard it
screening
is.
from
Dikti.
Dikti, then
Yeah.
it means you can probably 80% you can pass this scholarship.
Okay.
So the thing is that you have to make a very good CV and very good essay because
CV, good essay.
essay so that Dikti would be impressed.
Because
by
that's like the main case.
yes,
right?
yeah, that's the main phase. So the first one, if you pass this administrations from Dikti, then 90% probably you get the golden ticket. Yeah.
Okay. So in your own experience, it's easier to get accepted by the Hungarian government.
Yes, so let me tell you that I have tried many kind of scholarship process. Plenty. I couldn't really mention all of this scholarship, but one of them is LPDPO. So I was already in interview stage.
I know.
FYI.
Because I asked you. Yeah.
But it wasn't that easy. So because I think they have certain requirements or certain expectations of Indonesian student who would like to come back again to Indonesia and then dedicate yourself to the Indonesian government and whatsoever. But for Hungarian, there is no such thing.
Mm.
So
You
you
can
don't
do
have
whatever
to.
you want.
Yes, you don't have to prove how patriotic you are or how national.
Because you're not a part of that country,
Yeah, yes,
right?
exactly. Or how ambitious you are, how good leadership you have. So nothing like that. For them, it's that to give and to provide everyone a chance to study in Hungary. That's the
Okay.
aim, and to promote Hungary also. So.
Okay.
So nothing, something like LPDP. So that's why I feel like from all many scholarship who mostly would like to have someone who have good leadership and
Good
good
communicating
management,
skill.
communications, or creative thinking, whatsoever. In Hungary, they don't really mention that. So, but still, Dicty would ever consider someone
Yeah.
like that. So, it's on the hand of the host institutions, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And could you tell us the tips and the tricks to get selected?
Oh, that's I think I mentioned before. Make a good CV,
Mhm.
and in the CV you cannot just mention your biography like biodata, for example.
I got your
It should
CV too.
mention, yeah.
Yeah, because I applied for China exchange
Yeah.
program before, and you gave me your
Yeah,
CV.
yeah, I remember.
Uh-huh.
So it should mention your work experience also. I think that's probably one of the thing that Dicty still consider the most, that you should have prior experience
working.
in working.
At least
Not
like how many years?
Doesn't mean that you have to have a professional job experience, but could be a voluntary work experience,
No matter
or
how long it is.
no matter how long it is,
Okay.
or probably just a tutorial, for example. But then you have to explain what is your job descriptions in the CV, and then what kind of thing that you learn from that job.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that kind of CV, you can search in the Google, like scholarship CV is different than job CV, because in the scholarship CV you have to mention all the details of what you have learned and what you can give, so that would impress the reader, like what kind of person you are and how
So again,
motivated you are.
it's
Yeah.
not only about experience, but what you learned.
Yes, yes. So
what
something
value
like
that you
that.
got. Yeah.
Well, at least that's what I did. I don't know what the others did with the CV, but that's what I did with my CV when I applied for this scholarship. And the second one is the CV, like why do you want to study in Hungary? So do your research properly about Hungary prior,
yeah.
because I thought that I didn't do a proper research about Hungary before. Like for me, Hungary is just one of the country in Europe, and I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
really
the
know,
only
like
thing I know.
yeah, but it's easily can be found in Google. Like for example, Hungary is one of the cheapest country
Countries, yeah.
in Europe for students. And then they have also many good universities, which is considered in the world list of
Okay.
good universities. So yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. And what does the scholarship cover?
The scholarships cover your monthly allowance, accommodation. Well, visa, if you were departed, it's free, and
Ticket, airfare?
ticket, no. So ticket, airplane is on you, on yourself. And then what else did they cover? Insurance, health insurance. I think that's all.
That's it. So the only thing that you have to pay
Airplane,
is the
airplane, yeah.
ticket. Okay.
But that's worth it, because just imagine that you are going to Europe, because if you get a Hungarian visa, it means you get Schengen visa, and you can go everywhere around Europe,
yeah.
under Schengen.
For a cheap price also, right?
Yeah, it's quite affordable. I mean, if you can save your money wisely. So,
Okay. And does this scholarship have any prioritized measures? Like, because in LPDP there are some prioritized measures, but does this scholarship have?
For the temples itself, I mean, for the government itself doesn't really prioritize any kind of programs or majors. They provide like everything, even like, for example, my major, human resources. But now, as I mentioned, it depends on the host institutions. In Indonesia, Dikti. So Dikti will have the
Priority.
have this privilege to choose which kind of major that they want these Indonesian students to study in Hungary.
Yeah, yeah.
So if there are many engineerings, then they can go to Hungary probably easier than the other majors. So something
Okay.
like that.
That's why you have to provide like a good reason for studying in
Yes,
Hungary.
yes.
Okay, to get selected. Okay, nice. And then after do we like call the awardees awarded?
Yes,
Because we have
they
different terms for
yeah,
different
yeah. They
scholarships.
call the awardee of stipendium is SH awardee. So
SH awardee,
Yeah,
okay.
Stipendium Hungaricum awardee.
So what did you do and what are the activities for becoming one of the awardees? Okay, so after becoming the awardee of SH, what are the activities that you had?
Well, for everyone has a chance to be Stipendium Hungaricum ambassador or the university ambassador, and we have several gatherings, one time in a month or one time in 6 months, like gala dinner or
One time in 6 months.
in 6 months. So it's like get together of all the awardees,
Okay.
get to know each other, and probably some sharing experiences and kind of just chill. That's all. And then I don't know if any other activities. Probably they are, but I'm not that active students there. I mean,
Focus on your
yeah,
study.
I think I had enough of many activities. Like when
Okay.
I was bachelor, I had too much also. So in my major, I just would like to really enjoy being pure students.
The same, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't like allowed to work by the scholarship,
Yes.
and because I also worry about my grades, and I have to get like a certain passing grade for the scholarship. That's why I want to focus on
Yeah,
studying.
really.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a minimum score for
That's
that.
also for stipendium. You don't really have a passing grade.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, a high passing grade. I mean, at least you pass. Although it's we have 5 scales, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, you use numbers.
Yeah, we use number.
I
We
use
don't use
distinction.
ABC.
A distinction, merit, pass, and fail.
Oh,
only
okay.
4.
We use number 1 to 5. 5 is
The lowest.
no, 5 is the highest,
Oh,
and
okay.
1 is the lowest. So
Okay.
the passing grade is 2. So if you pass 2, then that means okay. So and it's not that difficult, you know.
Okay, so yeah, Stipendium Hungaricum.
Stipendium Hungaricum. Yeah.
Stipendium Hungaricum.
Hungaricum.
Okay.
And that's also we are allowed also to work 20 hours per week.
Okay. Even though you are registered as a full-time student. Okay.
And in summer you can do full-time working. So because the government knows that we are free from studying, so we are allowed to work full-time.
Okay. So it really depends on what scholarship that we got.
Yes.
Because my own university also allowed full-time students, but to take up like until 10 hours per week.
That's few. Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably because like it's supposed to be like 2 year study, but it's made short to be only 1 year. That's why it's only 10 hours. Okay. And what was your biggest challenge when you wanted to apply for the scholarship, or during the application?
Well, not that really challenging for me, but the thing is that I was really worried about my major, because I thought that it wouldn't be so much important for Dikti to choose my major to be one of the designated kind of major for a scholarship student. So I thought that maybe I would be a least priority, but turns out I got that. Probably I was thinking like what would be the reason for them to pass me when my major was not that important. Probably it was because of my working experience before, that they thought I had a quiet a good ground to start a better future career, so they probably give me a chance because of that. That's what I thought, but I never know the real reason.
Okay.
Anyways,
Probably the result of the interview and the ECT. Did you have an interview test?
essay I didn't really find a challenging thing, but interview, yeah, that was quite a trouble because of the time difference. And yeah, and then it's quite what to say, worrying some
Mm-hmm.
because the interviewer sometimes got a problem with the connection, so I did have
Really?
um, and several technical things, I think.
Okay.
The
What
problem.
time did you have your interview at the time? Here, Bali time or
Now,
Indonesian time?
I did my interview around 12 a.m. 8 p.m. Sorry.
12 p.m. Okay.
So not in the morning, but in the night.
12 a.m.
No, it's supposed. What is
12
a.m.
a.m.
is until 12, no?
Yeah. 12 a.m. if you are
Okay.
saying it's in the evening.
Yeah, so it's in the night, 12 in the night. I just got confused now,
Okay.
p.m. and a.m.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that's the challenge.
Yeah.
And then could you tell us like the questions that you got during the essay? Like what kind of topic that you had to discuss for the essay?
As I mentioned, it was basically about why do you want to work in Hungary? Like,
Mhm.
what is your motivation, and what kind of majors do you want to study? And what, if I'm not wrong, it was what will be your future plan
Okay. And what is your
after you
motivation
study?
for studying in Hungary?
Oof. If I remember,
Because probably people will
like
be
it's
inspired.
been too long, I think. What was my motivation? I think I said that I would like to have a European exposure as one of the biggest union in the entire world. Like EU is very huge, and they have a very what to say, very long history and long ground of labor market and sort of things. And I'm in human resources, so I would like to know how's the labor market
EU.
in EU, and with of course multinational environment that would make my experience different. So my essay is mostly on real and practical thing that I mentioned, so I just didn't say about like I want to have a multinational experience where I have international friends, or living abroad and going travel, or just want to experience how to study in Europe, but I have to specifically say what does it relate to my work experience. So
Okay.
like I'm in HR, so I want to know how's the labor market in EU, and possibly I would like to work in the EU, so that would be a good benefit for me when I come back to my country, or even for myself only. So that's how I manage my essay, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
So
far
you
that's
really
how I
have to
remember.
relate to your major and also your
Yeah,
background,
of
right?
course. Like, how does it relate to you personally? So not on general things,
Yeah,
but
because I think
yeah.
everyone can say that.
Yeah, everyone can say that. Like everyone would like to study abroad and have international friends, but more than that, it's on your specific skills, what you can apply to the major, what can you learn from the major. So that's vice versa
Okay.
benefits. Yeah.
And what were the questions during the interview?
Oh, I don't really remember actually, but mostly same question. I think it's very general. Like, do you have prior study about this major, or any kind of subjects that relate to this major? And the second one, like, why do you choose to be human resources counselor? What would you be, and why this university? Why
Were
this?
you also asked like the title of your thesis that you will be working on?
No,
No?
that is not on the list.
Oh.
I think that will only be important for PhD students.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So, and they don't ask something that specific, like this is title.
Okay.
I mean, no.
I never asked that question.
Really?
For,
And
for my
do you
LPD
really
selection.
to have a
I asked my
title
lecturers.
before? Yeah, okay.
I asked my lecturers about the possible topic that I could get from studying in that university, and also look at the fields where my lecturers in that university are experts of, and I relate to the title of my thesis. Okay. Oh, that's my phone. I thought it
Yeah.
was yours.
Yeah, it's your phone, so sorry.
Okay, that's fine. And then like from a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to recommend to the people to apply for Stipendium Hungaricum?
Ooh. I have to say this carefully because I don't want to say like in general, because for me, studying abroad is a very huge responsibility and decision. So for you who wants to study abroad just to have an experience to study abroad and not wanting to have a good degree or what to say, a good knowledge abroad, I would say this is could be a good chance. I mean, Hungary government or university for international students, they do not really strictly limit the students or giving a passing grade to students, so they could graduate on time. So they are just they would like to encourage the international students to have a good experience studying abroad. So it doesn't mean that they would like to make them smart or anything.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. So they would like to have like many student networks, like Erasmus networks and everything. So more than studying, they would like the students to be engaged, right? To the local Hungarians, the local cultures and everything. So if you are interested in that, then I would recommend Hungary so much. And Hungary is in the Central Europe. So if you like to travel, just go travel easily and cheaply. But for you who are very academic, like you really want the best degree from the best university, best knowledge and everything, this could be a good choice also. But that means you really have to choose the best universities in Hungary and not just go to any kind of universities in Hungary. And probably and only like not so many, probably engineering is good there, medicine, or what was that, some of my students like in geopetroleum kind of energy studying. So
that's very strange.
So that they have many good university on those majors, but not in many others. So if you're academic in other than those majors, probably you can choose the other. But I guess for Indonesian, they would like to have international exposure without being very academic.
The experience.
You can have both also in Hungary. I don't say that it's not good to be academic in Hungary. I mean, you can be both. But I specifically mentioned those people who would like to have a good, willing to study without having much stress. So Hungary is a good place for that.
Okay, that's a recommendation from her who just finished her master degree in Hungary, right? So because I also heard that you have tried other scholarships before being accepted by your current scholarship. What would you say to the people who are now struggling to find scholarship or who have failed before?
Never give up. I think that I would say for everyone who are now struggling to get a scholarship, and it's all about time. Sometimes when you're chasing something very hard, that things would go and run further than what you have thought. But when you relax and really think about what you are going to do and how you will get it done, and not rushing and just thinking about time, like some people are just impatient to get what they want, and they tend to compare to others, like, oh, did my friend already get into this, but I'm still staying here. So
I got compared.
And they are rushing into that certain point. If you're rushing and not thinking about the quality, like what things that you have to do and how to get it done right and smartly, then you will not likely to get what you want. But if you really think about the quality, not about time, and getting into it quickly, eventually you will get it. So, but again, never give up. Never give up is the solution, I think.
Okay, so
I
that's
think
her
really like
advice.
what you do also, right? I think you also have this tendency like you don't want to give up. You
Yeah.
gotta try and try.
I should get what I want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
failure is just part of the process. I mean, I
Mm.
think it doesn't mean that you have to stop.
And the most important is you learn from it, right?
Yeah, and persistence.
Yeah.
Like you have to be gotta persistent and consistent also. So that's
Okay, so that's the interview with her, an awardee of Stipendium Hungaricum.
yes.
Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe this video because you don't want to miss any videos with other people, other inspiring people. So right?
Subscribe to his channel.
Yeah.
He's doing his best now, and everybody should appreciate what he's doing now. Like this is really good, so I'm gonna
I
support
put a lot of
you.
effort.
Yeah, I'm gonna support you all the way.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.